Okay, I'm gonna stop that music because I was trying to fucking. So I usually use stream beats, but like they got rid of all of their stuff, and I don't know why. And it bothered. I didn't realize that that would be like so hardcore sounding, and I don't like it. Um, hello everyone. ah. ah. We're gonna start the stream in about 5-ish minutes. Just so you know, there have been a lot of thunderstorms in my area lately, um, and it literally looks like it's about to like hurricane outside. So if my computer goes out at any point, it is because there's a thunderstorm most likely going to happen at some point. So a little backstory on this stream right now. I did a podcast with. Hi, how are you? How are you doing today? I did a podcast with some of my best friends in SagaNet. That's our Discord, and we at one point we're gonna be like an entertainment whole thing and do like a content creator house. That might be that might be in the works at some point. Would absolutely love that. But yeah, so we have this whole like Discord that we use and all that jazz. And Quinn wanted to do a Pride podcast because the majority of us in there are somewhere in the queer gender spectrum somewhere. So we did a little podcast. They have a part 1 where they had some other people. Hello, how are you? They had some other people on, and this was their second part with me, my sibling, and one of my best friends, Rowan. So it was a really interesting talk. I want all of y'all to like see it, and I don't know. There were some things that I kind of wish that we could have gone a little bit more into, which is why I wanted to react to it today. I also just in general feel like Quinn's content and Rowan's art deserves more attention. Rowan doesn't really talk about their art very much here, but like if y'all want, I can link their information below, just to boost the queer community, boost other people who are in the community, and have a good kind of end to Pride. And yeah, look at Tia. Oh, look at Tia in the background. Look at her. She's so cute. I hope y'all are having a great Pride. I know I've been having a good Pride. I've been trying to be more consistent with uploads, as y'all know, or can probably tell, for the last about week and a half. And it's going fairly well. I'm really hoping to get back into streaming, which is the question that I'm hoping to ask all of y'all at the end of this stream. I want to keep Tuesdays 7:30 Eastern Standard Time as a day, but I'm thinking about adding either Saturday or Sunday as a day to stream as well, possibly on Kick, but I'm not sure. The weekend streams would be a little bit more unhinged Lynn hour. So it is what it is. I'm gonna wait another couple minutes to do the thing, and it'll be all good. How are you doing today? I hope y'all are having a good Pride, having a good month in general. I know that Pride can be a really good time, but also can be a little stressful, a little you know. Yes. I don't know how else to explain that. Just like, yes. I'm also really sorry about the kind of last minute stream. I know I've been kind of bad when it comes to streams, and I don't know. It's just I tend to, you know what it is? I do tend to get like anxiety sometimes when it comes to streaming, because I know it doesn't matter, but part of me is like, oh, if no one shows up, like, I have that kind of anxiety, um, which I know is, like, not the point of streaming whatsoever, but I don't know. I get that whole, like, oh, no one cares, no one's gonna watch this, no one's gonna do anything, and I just have to remember why I do this, even if one person sees what I do, it's all worth. So I'm hoping that this works. Hi, how are you? I'm hoping this works because when I just tried this, before, yo, what's going on? Hold up. Is my computer? Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, okay. Do do do. Do 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 do. Let me try this again. Not that. Also, y'all, I'm so excited for Heartstopper to come out. I'm sorry. I'm like on the YouTube homepage and it's got like the first scene of Heartstopper season 2 and I'm like, oh my god. Okay, I can't wait. Y'all, I'm gonna be doing a video for that, and it's gonna come out the same day that Heartstopper comes out, so I'm very excited about it. Let's go. Okay, I'm very much hoping that this works because, oh my god, if it doesn't, I will be upset. But let's go. So this is me, Quinn, Ellis, and Rowan. I need that light on because I always forget how dark it gets in my room, especially right now with the most cloudy thing.
Hello, welcome to part 2 of the Pride Podcast, SagaNet edition. I think I said that backwards actually, but you know what? We're already far gone, but it's okay.
I really want to know what they're gonna cut.
The second half of SagaNet that is not everyone.
So, like I said before, they did a first half. So if you want to go see that, they talk about different things with that group of people.
This is another section of SagaNet that is queer identifying.
Look at us, we're so cute!
Don't need to introduce myself, so briefly, I'm gonna go over everyone else. Lynn, we'll start with you.
Hi. My name is Lynn. I am demisexual, biromantic, and non-binary. My pronouns are they, them. And I also have a YouTube channel where I talk about LGBTQ plus stuff, mostly asexual, aromantic, and non-binary topics.
I'm Ellis. My brain isn't working today.
Y'all, so we had to actually do the intro twice because the first time it wasn't catching any audio. And so the reason we'd already done this before, and when we got to Ellis, they were just like, I can't.
Sorry.
Our brains were already not working the first time around.
Queer, I usually just say queer because it's easier than having to explain my complicated identity. I am non-binary, and my pronouns are he, they. I don't really have a YouTube channel or anything fun like that, but I hang out with Lynn on their YouTube channel sometimes, so yeah.
Rowan, I am non-binary. Wow.
We could not speak. It was not okay.
I am on the romantic, which is on the ace spectrum, and also I go with the they them pronouns.
Hell yeah. The they them.
those they
here.
them.
Be a member of that club.
Oh no.
Alright, so I'm gonna start off things a little similar to how we did part 1, but that's just because new people, new stories. For my introduction, I would just say go on to part 1, but my full identity is polyamorous, pansexual, and trans femme.
honestly, the reason why I'm like watching this today, I just want to let y'all know, whoever's like coming in, I just want to highlight like my friend group and how dope we are. Like, I know that sounds really like whatever, but I don't know, I just love our conversations and I want more people to like see Quinn's content and hear more about like the people that I'm around and that I love and that matter to me. And I know that Quinn only has, I think, 30 subs right now. So like if y'all want to go support a wonderful human being, please go sub or follow them on Instagram, because that would be amazing. But yeah, I'm probably not going to talk too much during this like reaction. There are certain things that I kind of wanted to go in more depth about, that I feel like we could have talked about a whole lot of the things that we're about to talk about longer. Um, and I'm only going to be streaming until about 9. I'm not sure if I'll go to the whole thing. Hi, how are you? Oh, whoops.
Sorry. So I, I had inklings growing up that I can look back.
So this is just everyone having their like coming out story and figuring out that they were gay and or non-binary.
I was non-binary, but I didn't really have vocabulary for that kind of stuff growing up because it wasn't something my family talked about at all.
We did not talk about
something
that.
I had really experience with in my environment that I grew up in. I got on the internet when I was a teenager, and learned on Tumblr all that fun stuff about being trans, being non-binary, being queer in general. And I was always like, that's for other people. That's not for me. Like, it's okay
I feel
that you guys
that.
are doing it, but like, I'm not queer or anything.
I still feel like I get that way a lot. Like, I don't know. There's like this part of me that I guess still has that internalized like transphobia and like biphobia where it's just like, oh yeah, it's fine for everyone else, but like not for me. So I completely understand where he's coming from with that. And it's also, I think, a byproduct of the religion that we grew up in. We were taught to like, I don't want to say that like we had to, no, we were taught that we had to make other people happier before we were allowed to be happy. And like if you, god, it's just a whole lot of like toxic religious stuff. But like I completely agree with the whole, sometimes you just don't feel like you can be queer because other people can be queer, but like no, you can't be queer.
Something like that.
I especially
like
felt that when I was
realized
younger.
I was having the same feelings for women as I do for men, and I came out to people, and I was like, oh yeah, like I came out at 8.
I remember
and then
that.
I came out as bisexual, and I was like, it was weird and rough. I didn't really accept myself until a couple years ago at the beginning of the pandemic when I realized that I was also aromantic. Because that was like the thing that I was like, oh my god, I really am queer. Oh no.
I remember when they came out to me as Aro, which by the way, like 6 months before he came out as Aro, like to me, he was like, oh, I think I might be aromantic. I was like, yo, I was just having this conversation with like Quinn and being like, I think Ellis might be aromantic, but I can't like tell someone, hey, I think you're this. You need to kind of let people figure it out for themselves. But yeah, no, it was such an interesting thing to watch him go through that because like I'd already gone through all of my stuff and kind of deconstructing from the church, and I know he had a definitely harder time than I did in that kind of regard. But like seeing him find himself has like been such a joy as a sibling to like see someone you grew up with be happy like that and finding who they really are. And like it's just it's such a sweet thing to be able to see.
So that was like the thing that made me really confront it with myself. And then my gender identity, it's another thing where I can look back and see signs of it from when I was young. But I really remember one day I was just sitting there, like, I think I was just like cleaning my room or something, and I like had that thought pop in my head, like, oh yeah, it would be cool if like my body looked a certain way, and then I realized I was like, you know what? I don't think cisgender women
Oh my
feel
god.
this way about their bodies.
Yo, so like speaking on that, um yeah, I had no idea. There have been a couple conversations in my life that have really made me like I already knew I was like asexual, and a friend of mine who's hypersexual I was having a conversation with, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I could like see someone walking down the street and be like, yeah, I'd have sex with them." And I was like, "Oh my god, I really am asexual." Um a similar thing happened with like me being non-binary. Like I was talking to a cis friend of mine who she, oh my god, I fucking love her so much, but we were talking one day, and I was like, yeah, I just like want a dick sometimes. Oh, can I say that on stream? Well, I want a certain body part sometimes, and she was like, yeah, I've like never wanted that, like that's never been like a thing in my head of like wanting that. And I was like, oh, so cis women actually don't like want that. Like that's great. Like it I don't I don't know. Hey guys, I just got a Loveless t-shirt. It's so pretty. Oh my god, wait. Is it the one that Alice Osman, is that her name? The writer of Loveless that she put out? Cuz honestly, I wish I had the money for it, but like I love that shirt and I want one so bad. Hi everyone. But yeah, yeah, no, cis people don't think about wanting the opposite.
I don't think they want that, the anatomy changes.
They
that I
don't want the anatomy
Um,
changes.
and
It's so
yeah,
weird.
so it's been a wild ride. But I I feel like I'm finally in a place where I can like accept myself and love myself for who I am and be comfortable with my identities, even as, I'm still trying to figure things out in certain areas, but at the same time, like I'm feeling more comfortable with just being queer and with my gender identity and exploring what that means for me.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's. We're gonna touch upon some of the few things you said earlier, but right now I'm gonna switch it up and we're gonna go to Rowan, who is muted, by the way.
Like, struggle bus today.
Rowan always does it.
Okay, we're getting through.
It's a normal Discord call with me being muted. Let's go. The background noises are too loud. But I think for me, it started like growing up in a very religious and Catholic Mexican household and stuff like that. I think it was really hard to explore those gender identities, especially like with all of my cousins and everything. Like you have to be presenting high femme constantly because that is the standard in our culture and stuff like that. I wouldn't say like it's a full standard, but that is just how it was ingrained in my head. Like if I wasn't fully high femme, then like you're basically an ugly girl in the sense of like that's how like people would be like. And I was just like growing up, I was never interested into like.
So like knowing Rowan as long as I have and like seeing their journey and everything, it's been so, and we've had conversations about that before, about like them feeling very out of place because of the culture that they grew up in and were, taught how to be and that kind of stuff. And it's so interesting, and I love a lot of the stuff that they have to say, and we go into religious trauma
Big high
further
stuff.
into the
was
video.
Like, I'm not a fan of wearing super cute jewelries. I'm not a fan of low cut dresses and stuff like that. So like growing up, it was really hard for me, and I didn't have any of those spaces to connect with because I wasn't fully on the internet as much as people were when they were like 13 or 14. Like I would see people at the library, and they would like that was where
I love
would
that they said the
connected to,
library.
Like, the queer spaces. Like I knew lesbians and like gays and stuff like that, but I was just like, that's not where I am. So I'm like, where do I fit in?
It's such a, I think that's another thing that like is so important, because I don't know, it's so important to have like those spaces not only like online but also IRL, so that kids can have that in-person experience with the queer community. Even though I know people are trying to stop that from happening. It is for queer kids. It is important to be around other queer kids. Shocker, everyone. It's kind of inspiring how people know who they are so young. I had no idea until I was in my 30s. Oh my god. I think you know what? I 100% think it's because of the internet. Like, I go into it a little bit. Ellis definitely did, but we just had more access to it. We had more of a more we just had more access, more resources. I don't blame any of the people like in the older generation for not knowing who they were until like their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. Because also the language has changed so much and different labels have popped up, which I absolutely love, and just explaining things more and people being able to express themselves more and like knowing other people that have similar experiences, which is so nice, and why I love like the ace community and the aro community, non-binary community so much, because like I feel like even now those communities are kind of like brushed under the rug.
And then going into college and everything, I found out, honestly, for Quinn and Lynn, being like, oh, there are other ace spaces that you can be in, and I'm just like, yeah, because I don't fit in any of these spaces. Like, I'm gender fluid, can be, but I really don't have it assigned anything. And just being more in my 20s, I figured it mostly out and stuff like that. I'm still going through the curves, but yeah, just growing up, it was just really hard for me to, because I just found like I'm not normal like the rest of my family is. But now I feel like I can accept myself for who I am.
When will I have a stream like the last one? Wait, what did I do last time? I have no idea. I'm sorry. What was it, a Q&A that I did?
I'm proud of who I am, and like, you know, don't gotta be conforming to the people. Just make yourself happy.
I love Rowan. Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Chatting. Oh shit. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were like right here talking to me. And I was like, wait, what? Chatting. So, I said it at the beginning of stream. I don't know if you were here for it. I am planning on keeping my Tuesday streams and being a whole lot better about that. And then also potentially having a weekend stream. The weekend streams I would be doing more of the chatting. The Tuesday streams would be more of like reacting, and that kind of stuff. So at the end of stream, or maybe I'll do a community poll when I'm done streaming, but I definitely want to get like times on the weekends that y'all are mostly free, because I do want to do, I've had a couple people ask me to like stream other times because they live in different like time zones and stuff, and I just want to make sure that oh yeah, I'm so excited. I love your streams. Thank you. I love streaming. Like I was saying, sometimes I get like anxiety about it, like that no one's gonna show up, but like I don't know. I need to stop letting my anxieties like fuel my everything. So I'll go for the ace and bi first, and then I'll go for the non-binary. I apparently was told by Ellis when I was 14 that I was asexual. I don't remember that whatsoever, but I completely believe that it happened. I just never really felt the same way that a lot of the other people that I was around was starting to feel. Like everyone was getting crushes, and I was like, is this fake? What's going on? Like, this is real, but okay. Y'all do you. And then I had a friend of mine who is also on the asexual spectrum, and she told me about it when I was like 15, 16. When did I want to say somewhere around there. So I started looking into it again, mostly on Tumblr and online. And I found the label demisexual, probably when I was 17, and that's when I kind of figured out that I actually had a crush or two before, and the very first one I had was on my female best friend at the time, and I was like, oh, let's not deal with that right now. I'll say I'm biromantic, but that's it. That's the only one. I'm not gonna deal with this. So identifying as like biromantic has definitely been like the hardest thing for me, because again, as a Mormon growing up, you're told, you know, it's wrong, it's sinful, and it's not something that you're allowed to do. So it definitely internalized a lot more of the biphobia and the homophobia. And I only recently, within the last, like, probably the pandemic. Y'all, it was so hard to get over that. Like, I'm not gonna, like, it's still something that, like, again, it's that, oh, like, it's fine for other people, but not for me, and it's something that I genuinely have a hard time with. And it, like, I'm very proud of myself for working on it and getting better with it. But it's still, like, there sometimes because, you know, it's hard to erase childhood teachings. I like that your streams are not super popular because it's just, like, a conversation. I would like it if new streams were at the same time as the last one or hour earlier. Got you. Okay. What's biromantic is that for bisexual? So biromantic is a romantic orientation. So, you know how there are sexual orientations like bisexual, homosexual, pansexual, that kind of stuff. Essentially, it can be the same for romantic orientation. So I personally have been romantically, oh god, that cat, romantically attracted to more than one gender, and I potentially could be in a relationship with someone who is not of the opposite sex as me. But anyone who dates me is gay. That's all I'm saying. Hello! Wait, Ellis, is that you? Ellis? Hello? Pandemic have like really worked on that, and it's like, oh, it's okay. Like, you're good. So yeah, Ellis,
I
stop!
think
My sexuality and romantic orientation first, and then when I met you, and kind of like your origin story about like realizing your sexuality, I just remember being so angry that like you were non-binary and being like, why am I so jealous of this person? Like, they seem so happy, and just like, I was like, a lot of the things you told me about, I was like, that's me, but like, I don't want to feel like I'm copying this new person that I just met. Like, I don't want to like seem like that. So I first identified as gender fluid, which at the time I do genuinely think was a good label for me, and kind of, I don't want to say it was like dipping my toes into like gender and that kind of stuff, but I was okay at the time with more pronouns than I am right now. And then around... I definitely think that my gender was more fluid when I was younger. I definitely feel like in my old age, it has become a little stagnant, but like, even as a kid, like, I definitely feel like it was a little bit more fluid than what it is now. And I don't know if that's just because I've finally got the language to go along with it. I'm more comfortable in myself. But for a while there, I did heavily go towards more masculine. Sorry I'm late. No, it's all good. You're good. I did tend to go towards more masculine presentation. Like, unfortunately for me, I was watching, like, Calvin Guerra, and, like, when Storm Ryan was being problematic, I was also watching him, and just kind of internalizing that NB phobia and internalized transphobia, and being like, oh, if I do this, I'm gonna be perceived as more, like, womanly, I can't do that, and all that stuff. So I'm definitely happier now. 100% happier now, because, like, because my dysphoria does tend to fluctuate a little bit, it was also hard for me for a while to, like, be comfortable calling myself, like, trans and everything, but, like, I'm a trans non-binary person, like, it's all good. I know, sorry. He looks like a little ghost. And then it was around the pandemic that I was like, you know what, I think they, them
pronouns is what's best for me and makes me feel the most comfortable.
I love they them pronouns. Oh my
and
god.
for a little while I was like, oh, I can be gender fluid and only use like they them pronouns, like,
which you can. I'm starting to watch the Owl House and I love it. Oh my god, wait. Should I do? I don't celebrate it, but I wish you Pride Month.
that is valid, by the way. But I slowly realized like just the umbrella of non-binary fit me a little bit better, and I would say my gender has become a little bit more stagnant.
Yeah.
And much like Ellis for like gender identity, like I can look back on like my childhood very distinctly and be like, okay, that's where that.
Y'all, my childhood was like a pointing, glaring, like, sign that I was not a woman. Yo, the fact that my mom literally talked to a queer friend of hers and was, when I was like, I want to say 5 or 6, maybe 4 or 5, I don't even know. But apparently they were talking about me, like, potentially being a trans man. And I was like, you knew? You knew? Okay. Anyway. I can't get too salty.
That's where it all was there.
It all was
didn't have the
there.
Language to put to it at the time, and I'm very grateful that I was able to find people to help me discover that language.
Yeah, there's a common theme behind a lot of listening to everyone's origin story, so to say. It seems that there's a key word that a lot of you say in your origin stories, myself included, which is childhood. Like, it really, really cements the fact that children are probably having these thoughts.
All of you should watch The Owl House. I'm just saying, I also need to watch it. I've only seen the first season.
We have this lovely
Which I've been
line
yelled at.
between us, not only on Discord, but above you have, Mormon, you have a white family that is, well, for you guys specifically, half of your family is more accepting of who you are than the other.
Yep.
And then you have the bottom half, which is Catholics, Hispanics, and we.
You know what's like insane? And I know we go into it. We'll go into it a little bit, but I never thought of Mormonism as like an extremist, like evangelical thing until this conversation, and you'll see why. But like, I've never lumped us into that group before until this.
You don't have that.
It's also so interesting seeing like the similarities and differences when it comes to the culture of like white extremist churches versus Hispanic like Catholicism and that kind of stuff. Obviously, white people colonized and everything, and God, but yeah, it's just so interesting to me. I love the conversation that we're about to have.
This also happened in the previous episode that there was a
I'm
fine
still
divide.
dead named.
Honestly,
Yeah, like we deal with being dead named, being misgendered, and
like a lot, y'all.
the
It's not
constant
okay.
Of I'm sure I'm not gonna speak for Rowan, but I know for myself, I get the constant, like you're gonna be a man of the house someday, and you're gonna be a father, and all these really gross expectations that I absolutely don't want to deal with.
It's so ingrained, and like I've been around Quinn's family enough where like they'll say gendered stuff to me too, and I'm like, yo, can you stop? Like they'll ask me like they'll be like, oh my god, you're turning into like such a beautiful woman. Or when I was younger, they'd be like, oh, you need to make sure you can cook so that you can feed your husband and like that kind of stuff, and like be like, oh, like how many kids do you want to have? And it's just like, even it's so like I can't even like I know the stuff that they've said to Quinn, and it's just like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And I also know the stuff that Rowan's parents have said to them too. So like, yes, I can't wait to see Isaac for a. Honest to God, I cannot wait, y'all. I'm gonna be doing a Heartstopper video watch out for that at the beginning of August. Just so you know, I'm already planning it.
The question is, and anyone can jump in and answer, is what resources do you think kids need that can help them just talk about these things? Not necessarily like, here's your identity, stamp, and like they leave, but just something that would be beneficial to their growth as a person, because identity is important no matter if you're queer or straight.
100%.
It's important to have a sense of who you are and what you plan to do, how you plan to live. So where do we start?
I think that's another thing that people like always forget, is that the things that the queer community are trying to dismantle will also help the straight community. I hate to be like that, but like they also put themselves in boxes and stuff. Like, I don't even know where I was trying to go with that. But like they put themselves in boxes too, and they don't have to be that way. Super straights are goofy as hell. Yo, super straights are Yo, when that was coming out, what was it, in 2021 or 2020, whatever, super straights, dumb as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
So as someone who loves to read and who works at a library, I think books are a great way to start. There are lots of books nowadays about different types of families, different identities, different ways to, like, it's not even like,
oh god, am I
trying to think
covering
of how I
Rowan's
said it.
head?
It's
I'm
like
sorry,
very
Ro.
age-appropriate books. Like you have like little picture books that like you can read to your toddler or your baby. The little board books. You have like picture books for the older kids. And then you have like stuff like Percy Jackson and the spin-off series.
Y'all, can we just, first of all, oh, Tia, you're messing up my, this poor cat. Wait, hold on one sec. Okay, Tia messed up my Tia, you're so fat. You can't be back there. Tia baby. Thank you. And now she walks off like the little queen she is. Okay, we're back. We're good. Sorry. What was I saying before? I know I was saying something. I can't remember. Oh well.
For that, that's just the first one I thought of off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, Percy Jackson. First of all, dope. Second of all, oh my god, I need to reread that series before the TV show comes out. Second of all, yeah, that's how you do like queer representation for kids and young adults. Literally, Rick Riordan, Papa Bless, what an angel.
Like, queer characters.
I love him.
But just like
It's a
casual
wild Tia.
representation. Like,
Yo, she
you
really
have
out
books
here
where people are like, this is a
wildin'.
mommy, this is a daddy, and
Look at her.
just stuff like that where you can give kids the vocabulary to describe what their experience is, no matter what that experience is. And just starting like building blocks there, and also like building a community where you can discuss these kinds of things. I know Rowan talked about going to the library. I love libraries. I love libraries.
Yeah, like that's where I got all of like my information and everything. Were like libraries, like reading comic books, manga, stuff like that, and like even just like news articles of like how it was like just even seeing like the homophobia in like some of those articles. It's like some like it made me understand some of the things of why people were hating on it, but also made me not understand. It's just like why. Like, why are you so unaccepting and stuff like that?
I think there's such, like, I think children accept so much more than what, like, people give them credit for. And I genuinely believe most kids, because I know some kids come out, like, kind of, anyway, a certain way. But, like, I want to say the majority of kids, if you explain to them in rough, like, childhood, like, in those kind of terms, like a man loving a man is okay, a woman loving a woman is okay, they're pretty accepting of it. The only way they aren't accepting of it is because they are taught that way. Kids are literally taught hate, and I don't like it whatsoever. My mom reacted a bit weird when I walked into the kitchen with my Loveless t-shirt on this morning. She was like, "What the hell have you got on now?" Typical straight answer. I'm so sorry. That's not okay. Never heard of Heartstopper? It's on Netflix. It's so good. I cried so much. Please go watch it. Oh my god, yes. In Germany, it's 2.05 M. Oh my god! How are you awake?
Yeah. I definitely think.
What show did I get you into? You have to let me know what I got you into She-Ra? Oh my god, stop.
This is onto something with like age appropriate representation. I don't think kids need to explicitly know anything other than a man and a man can love each other, a woman and a woman can love each other. There are people who are not a man or a woman, or someone who was raised as a boy can now become a woman, or someone who was raised as a girl can become a man now. It doesn't need to be as explicit as people are thinking that kids are being taught. Like, I know there are like weird circumstance, like there are always an exception to that, but like I don't think it needs to be more than that until like a certain age when, you know, kids start to want more of the vocabulary and to understand more. So like probably 6th, 7th, 8th grade would be more appropriate to talk about some of the more in-depth stuff. But Rowan knows a whole lot more about, you've worked with kids, so you would know. Yeah.
So I do have a personal experience with the kid that I nanny for. He was.
So background real quick, Rowan has been working in childcare for like 10 years. Ever since they were like 16, 17, been working in childcare. So like they know.
The other day, I think it was just an unironic thing, but it's also like, maybe. He was telling me how he's like, I don't want to wear this certain type of shirt because my mom said it was a girl shirt. It makes me look like a girl. But he told me the other day, he's like, I don't want to cut my hair. I want to have my hair long.
Yeah.
Like the other girls. And I'm just like, see, like, if we keep labeling things like this is gender, you're assigning fake objects to their genders. That's what's making these kids be like, oh, well, I can't do this. Because my parents told me.
You're literally restricting a child from expressing and being their authentic self. Like, I don't get it. Is it an animation too? Yes, it's an animation, and it's amazing. I don't even know how to describe it. Go watch it. But yeah, you're just cutting off kids from. Yo, Tia. This cat, I'm about to kick her out. Yo, Tia. It's normally Pip that gives me a problem. What the hell? T? Hold on. She's literally behind my computer. Give me a sec. Okay, I can't kick her out right now. She's completely back there. Well, okay, T. You do you, and we'll figure this shit out when you come out. Sorry for that. Tia strikes again. Yo, this cat. Okay, she's backing out now. Tia? Do you just want attention? What's happening? Okay. Come on, Tia. She just wanted attention. That's all. She's such a little prima donna. I love her, but oh good god. Okay. Back to regularly scheduled programs.
In reality, the parents would be like, it's just a piece of clothing. You can wear whatever you want. Your hairstyle can be whatever you want. Because the other day he saw a woman on TV who had a pixie cut. He's just like, why does she have a boy haircut? She looks really cute and pretty. Why does she have a boy haircut? It's like, because she is allowed to. It's her hair. It's what she wants to do. And like, actually, like, for me to like first see my first like same gender couple on a TV show was unironically Clarence with the two moms. So that was my first like big like, oh, there are actually people who like are queer and can fall in love, and it wasn't anything like gross. It's just like, yeah, these are my two moms. Next episode.
Yeah.
It was that simple, and it's like, okay, that's great. So yeah. Like for kids, you don't have to be like, oh well, like same-sex people do, you know, sexual stuff. It doesn't have to be like that. That's the problem. Like old media will raunch it up, and that's what
They literally. So, little tangent. I'm gonna go on a little tangent right now. Hold on one sec. The amount, I know this is like gonna be such a, I don't want to say dumb thing to complain about, but like the sexualization of LGBT people is actually insane to me. Like, I know people are gonna be like, oh, but like the whole community is about like sexual liberation, which it is, and like being able to have sex with whoever you want, whenever you want, whatever, like it's all that. And I'm just like, for me at least, and I feel like for a lot of people, it's just about being able to love who you love. Like, literally boiling it down to something so simple and so wholesome is just being able to, I'm gonna turn this off, just being able to love who you love, and that's it. Like, and I feel like people make everything so dirty and so sexualized and so just unnecessarily raunchy and explicit when it comes to our community. And like, I understand why. Again, I get it. I'm also on the asexual spectrum, so like that's not what my sexuality is about. So like I can't speak for everyone, but it genuinely does bother me just how much the community is like sexualized. Like, and then because I'm like, you know, in the ace community, a lot of people, because I'm asexual, are like, oh, but why are you here? You don't do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you don't know me. You don't know what I do. You don't know, like, anything about my sexuality. Why are you trying to, like, kick me out of a community that's supposed to be, like, hella accepting? But you're not! Okay, anyway. Sorry, I'm, like, looking at the rain outside and getting distracted, my little ADHD brain. But it just genuinely I don't know if it bothers any of you, like, how sexualized our community is. But I also just feel like it's such a projection of straight culture onto us. Like, that's just me personally. And how I see it. Like, they're just projecting all of their, like, everything onto us. Like, I recently went to go see, what movie? Ellis, what movie did we go see? Elementals? Is that what it is? And there was a love story, and, like, it was between a man and a woman or whatever, and I was just like, okay, but kids see this at such a young age, and they kissed and everything, and, you know, it's... I loved how everyone in the theater was like, ew, no, don't do that. I was like, yeah, bitches, don't do that shit. Don't force heterosexuality on these children. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, kids see heterosexuality and it's just so forced on them. And, like, I remember as a kid, like, seeing, like, pretty... I don't think I ever watched or accidentally saw, like, a sex scene because, like, my parents were really good about that. But I know for a fact that, like, some parents allow their kids to, like, see some stuff, and I'm just like, like, they see that all the time. I don't know. It's gotta be, it's just me. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just, like, too upset that, like, forced heterosexuality was, well, heterosexuality was, like, forced and, like, so ingrained into me that I'm just, like, angry that I didn't really see anything else as a kid. And I wish I had. Yeah, I'm not sure about the other either. I mean, it's Disney, but dude, we watched Charmed. Yo! Okay, first of all, what was her name? Phoebe and Cole? Oh my god, that man. Whoo! Sorry. But oh my god. Yeah, no. I don't remember it being so okay, but their costumes were really like low cut and that kind of stuff. Definitely not just you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, no, like they force it so heavily and I'm like queer people don't even try to we're not even allowed to like force it that much. Like whenever Disney does like, oh, it's the first like gay kiss in Star Wars or the first gay couple in a Disney movie or whatever, blah blah blah. Oh, it's so good to see you too. Like people make such a big deal out of it and it's literally for 2 seconds. Like all of those Disney firsts in like Marvel, Star Wars, like Pixar movies, Disney movies, all of those first gay shit is literally like 2 background characters kissing. Or like someone being like, "Oh, like I'm gay" at like the end of the movie. Like it's not like the way heterosexuality is played out and that we see all the time. I tried rewatching it and was slammed with a sex scene out of nowhere. I don't remember this stuff when I was a kid, but dang, it must have been there. Oh my god. Wait, actually though, that's crazy. Even holding hands is too much if it's a queer couple, honestly. You know you belong in this community when you're pro-gay in Disney. Oh my god, stop. But yeah, no, like, even holding hands, like, oh my god, there was, like, a Reddit, post 2 or 3 weeks ago, I want to say, about, like, this couple who was down in Florida. It was a gay couple, and they kissed because they were out doing mini golf or whatever, and the woman behind them was like, oh my god, what if my kid sees, like, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, she just kept berating them, and so, like, out of spite, they kissed again. She called the cops on them, and, like, they got arrested because, Florida now has that, like, inappropriate things in front of children now, which, like, ugh. We're getting lumped in with predators when they literally were just on a date. I don't understand. Anyway, back to what we were doing. I'm so sorry.
You know, like people, homophobia and stuff like that. It's just like, well, like all these people are just only for sexual attention and like overly sexualized. That's what the LGBT community is all about. They're fetishizing it. And it's like,
they
no,
do.
It's not,
they do fetishize it.
It's not just fetishes.
Yeah, it's literally people being in love with each other. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I know when I was still going to church, I taught the little kids lessons. And I had this little girl. I had short hair at the time. My hair is longer now, but at the time I had like a pixie cut basically. And this girl was like, "Why do you have a boy?" Same thing. Why do you have a boy's haircut? And I was, and you know, you don't have to get into the whole like. At the time, I still identified as a woman, but like if I had been identifying as non-binary, you don't have to get into like the whole, you know, oh, there's a spectrum and blah blah. You can just be like, well, short hair can be on people who look like women, and long hair can be on people who look like men. Like anybody can have their hair however they want to have it. Like you don't need to get into a whole like, oh, these are the chromosomes and the
You think kids are gonna no offense, but like kids don't want to hear that. Like just give them a simple explanation. You don't have to go
just
into
like, this
it.
Is how I like my hair.
You can have simple conversations with kids that like help them to start understanding. It's like you're not going to sit a 5-year-old down and start teaching them like advanced calculus or physics. Literally. You start with 1 + 1 = 2. In fact, you start with counting before you even start with adding things. Like I feel like people are so quick to be like, oh well, you want to teach them all about like gay sex and like the like explicit aspects of transitioning and things like that. It's like, no, we just want to teach them what will help them to build the foundation to have the vocabulary so that they can describe themselves growing up, and even like, and to feel comfortable with our identities. Like even if you are like cisgender and heterosexual, like it's still important to have that vocabulary and to deconstruct those gender roles that are so, and like the heteronormativity, the cisnormativity that's so ingrained in society because it harms everybody.
Yep.
It does.
And so like it's something that even like cisgender heterosexual people need to know in order to like help like everybody get a healthier healthier look at life and stuff like that. So
100%.
Yeah, it's a very, it's so, it's really interesting to me how much sex has an effect on everything. Like it's one of the most, it's an act of intimacy between, you know, two people or more, but mostly two people, and it's that action depicts, it's like, it's an umbrella. It's like underneath all of that is like everything, gender, orientation, and romance. All this stuff exists underneath it, and it's so jarring to me that, you know, sex is like up here in terms of like the umbrella, and then being a child is all the way down here, basically the hook of the umbrella. So you can't, there's so much distance between the two before like a child can even learn about any of those kind of things.
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you're a parent that talks about the birds and the bees to a child, you're weird.
Oh, 100%.
That's just
Yeah.
why. Don't even do it.
Yeah, it's really strange.
You're weirder than these queers.
Like, I'm sorry, but there is no adult out there that needs to be concerned about what goes on behind the bedrooms of two other adults that have consent to each other.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's really strange. I said this a while back, but
See, that's always the thing that I never understood. Why is it if there are two consenting adults doing what they do, another adult has to come in and be like, I don't like what you're doing. I have no part of this. I'm not committing this act with you. I don't like it, but you can't do it. I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I don't know why people's gender identity / sexual romantic attraction, appearance matter to other people when it shouldn't even concern them. Like, what the fuck is up with this world? I don't get it either. I'll never understand. I don't get it. I can't believe it's the final week of Pride Month. I'm gonna miss it. My first one has been fun. Oh my god, yes! I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. I didn't really get to celebrate Pride Month, but I get to wear a Pride outfit on Roblox. Aww, and make Pride bracelets and Pride flags. Hell yeah! I'm gonna make a Pride cake to celebrate that. Yo, can you? We should all make a Pride cake.
I think it might have been mentioned previously because V brought up some point, but part of me was just kind of like,
Rowan.
you know, they kind of teach kids like genocide at a young age. For
They
example, Columbus Day. Like,
Yep.
Christopher Columbus is a horrible, awful person who has done heinous things to Native Americans.
Yo, the fact that they didn't even in school, like, I was in 3rd or 4th grade when they started teaching us, like, about colonization, and, like, the way they watered it down, insane, disgusting. They also didn't tell us that Christopher Columbus committed so many atrocities, raped so many people, made, like, the lives of the indigenous people so bad that the king and queen of Spain literally said, you cannot go there anymore because you are trash. Like,
But, you know, when
It's-
Columbus Day rolls around,
they teach kids about slavery too. So we'll go into that. But, like, they teach kids about these horrible, horrible things. But they can't be like, oh, this one person loving another person, that's too much. No, I can't. We just can't do it. We can't do it.
they really try to pump up the story, and they're like, yeah, he found America. No one else was here except for some Indians, but no one else was here, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Also, they don't even talk about how the Vikings were literally, like, trading and doing stuff with indigenous people in America, like, before. But go off.
Horrible phrasing. It's
Go,
horrible
go,
wording.
Christopher!
They
They
also,
need to-
like... Oh, sorry.
Well,
They
I was
also,
gonna say,
like,
but-
play down slavery as well. Like, they just play everything down to make themselves
So, like,
look better.
America
wasn't-
did nothing wrong.
Exactly.
We can't do anything
It
wrong.
wasn't that bad. You know, we could put some duct tape on it. It'll be fine.
Stop! Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if you can water down horrific events such as those two, then you can water down like people identifying a different way. Because that's all it is at the end of the day. You're just identifying a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so like the example that popped into my head is like if you grow up Christian and your kid encounters, let's say, someone who's Jewish for the first time, you're not gonna be like, oh, you want to learn about Judaism? Go read the Talmud. Like, you're not gonna do that to a kid. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like this person believes differently than us. These are kind of like the basics of what they believe. And as you're older, if you're interested, you can get more into it. But like, you're not gonna slam like thousands of years worth of what's the word? It's not philosophy.
Religious teaching.
Religious belief.
Religious teachings, like in 5 seconds on someone who is not prepared to learn about it. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta start slow. It's the I hate to bring scripture into it, but it's the whole milk before meat thing, you know? Like, you're not gonna like sit a baby down at a 5-course meal and be like, here, eat it, when they don't have teeth, you know?
I like that. It's a pretty funny imagery. Just imagining like baby in that chair and there's like a ribeye steak.
I'd be like, no, this is mine. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Please.
not for
My
you.
fork is sliding across.
Straight up.
Have some Cheerios. This is expensive.
This is Wagyu, please.
Wagyu on a salt rock plate. Here you go.
Oh gosh. So
I'm hungry.
Stop.
yeah.
I've been hungry. I'm still hungry.
We all have religious upbringing.
Oof.
It is.
Yeah.
Oof.
This was unavoidable. The minute
I just got here. What is happening? I am reacting to a podcast that I was just recently on with some friends of mine. I'm reacting to it because I don't completely remember what I said, and I wanted to see if there were any edits. And then also, everyone should donate to a Pride charity before the end. Yes, do that. And also, I just love all three of these people and wanted to highlight them on my channel. They all have social medias. If, yeah, I should link it somewhere. But yeah, I just wanted to show off my friends and the people that I love and just be like, yes, them. And also just show you guys the people that make me happy.
what the roster was for the weekend.
And also talking about Pride stuff and being queer and all that fun stuff.
I was like, this is gonna be unavoidable.
The trauma, let's go.
Without too much like trauma dumping, why do you believe that? Maybe I'll go with Rowan first. So we both grew up Catholic. We both went to the same church. Why do you believe? And I guess this is also going to touch on our culture. But why, in our culture as Hispanics, do you believe that queer people are viewed?
I am bisexual, ABB.
Our, you know, how we like talk, we effeminate, and we have a specific way of saying things. Like, these things are specifically said in a feminine way, these things are specifically said in a masculine way. It's just how the language is. You know how it is? Like, you can't break that apart. There's no it's that. It's always just a specific feminine or masculine way. And being Mexican myself, because I think it might be a little bit different Peruvian culture, but I'm not entirely sure. Just Hispanic culture in a general. It's still that big stigmatism of the man is in charge of everything. Like, how your parents unfortunately view you. You're the man. Gross. It's just gross saying it like that too. Like, in a Hispanic, like, your parents believe you are the man of the house, you strictly have to do all these manly things. Like, there's nothing. And as myself, being female of the family, and I think because I am the eldest, I'm held at a certain different caliber. It's just like, you are this, you have to be the standard, like, the exemplary female Hispanic. Like, you have to be perfect at everything. You have to, like...
I can't even imagine like the pressure of that. Like that just sounds so like so much. Like I can't even, especially cuz it's coming from like not only a religious pressure but a cultural pressure as well, and like who you are, and you have to make your parents proud and all of that kind of stuff. Like I can't, it's gotta be rough.
You have to always look presentable. If you look even like shaggy, like right now I'm shaggy. If like my mom saw me, she'd be like, "You're shagging. You need to have your hair like straightened. You need to be wearing makeup." Like we just got our nails done, but that's because I like getting my nails done. Like you're not presenting high fat. Like you're not wearing something. Like if we were to go out, you're not wearing something that would you were worthy to be going out. You're looking hodonga, which means you look trashy.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's really bad. And I think because like in our church as well, because of that stigmatism where you have to present yourself in a certain way, our church was also very, very non-Catholic, as you would say. Like it was more like a fashion show than it was going to church.
Oh no.
When we were going to. Like even like
I
our
love that.
priest would always be like, "Women, you need to stop wearing these like trashy dresses because this is a church."
Yo, imagine a priest going, "Hey, I need the congregation to stop dressing this way because stop."
Like this isn't a nightclub. That's how our priest would say. Like it was really bad growing up.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I just find that really funny.
Yeah.
Which is like such a contradiction to like how people dress when in the church that I grew up in, and being very modest, very just very modest. Like I didn't start wearing this like shoulder stuff until I was 18 or 19, no matter how hot I was. Like had to wear shorts all the way down to your knees. You couldn't let men like have a wandering eye, even though I was literally a child and a teenager. Why in the hell were they looking at me? Just found out my best friend is bi. She talks to me about her relationship concerns. She likes talking to me about it. Oh, I love that. I wonder what her concerns, that's me being nosy. Relationship concerns are. Bro, you're not boring. Your flag is literally my 3 favorite colors when I was younger. Oh, we love that. Hi, I'm sorry I'm late. Hi, how are you? Oh my god, I'm so happy you're here. I'm from Brazil, so not Hispanic, but there's some similarities in being from a Catholic family and an only child. I feel the pressure. Yeah, I can't even imagine the pressure of what that's like. Bro, I used to love the colors pink, purple, and blue so much. Oh my god, stop. People have to dress up so much just to go to church or family events. And especially because it's so gendered in those places. It's so gendered.
Like, yeah, it's pretty similar. I mean, yeah, all Hispanics, especially in our country, in our country of origin, everything feels like
Pangender, that's dope.
Like,
Good
like
for
it
you.
feels like, and with, this is my knowledge of Peru back when I was 18. Is the last time I went to Peru. But from what I remember, a lot of things were just very cut and dry, very old-fashioned. Men do this, women do that, and there was never. I actually don't even recall seeing any hint of queerness in my country. Not one. Like I didn't see pride flags. I didn't see. Not even queer-looking people. Everyone was just like kind of ordinary. It was a little creepy, actually. It was such a jarring experience coming back to the States, and then like I see like rainbow flags, and I see like stereotypically gay people. But
it just makes me weird, like think how many people would express themselves in those countries if they felt like they were able to or felt safe. And I think I asked them about that a little bit, but like, because I've always grown up in a very progressive area, I can't even fathom going somewhere and not seeing queer people. Like, it's just such a, I can't even think about it. It doesn't make sense to me.
in a house, my without getting a little too personal, but a lot of the times when they lecture me about like things I'm going through or things they're looking at, and they're like, "That's wrong," but any of those points, it's always, and they always nail it down. They're always like, remember, you're a man. You have to strengthen up. You have to bulk up. You have to go through everything. You have to be strong for your future wife and kids. It's really jarred into you. That was being told this since I was 5, and being 5 years old, being told that you're gonna, like being 5 and being told like you're gonna have a wife and kids. You almost kind of believe them. Like you're almost brainwashed into being like, like, oh yeah, when I become an adult, I'm gonna meet a woman and we're gonna have kids and that's gonna be my life.
It's such a, because I don't even know how much of that I can blame on them, because they're just spouting out what their parents told them. You know what I mean? Like, it's unfortunately a generational thing, and I think hopefully with like millennials and Gen Z we'll be telling our kids different things, hopefully, or the people who decide to have kids, because I know a lot of us don't want kids. But it's just like, why would you, it's so weird to me that you would tell a kid, oh, you have to do this because someday you're gonna find a person of the opposite sex and be married and make babies, and you're literally 5. You've been alive for 5 years and you're hearing that? Like, it's so odd. It's so weird. It's so just the programming that happens. And like I said, like, heterosexuality is forced down kids' throats from such a young age. Like, honestly, like, I should do a are the straights okay video, because, like, Jesus Christ. But, like, those shirts that, like, they put on babies that are like, I'm gonna be a heartbreaker when I grow up, or like I'm gonna have like 10 girlfriends by the time I'm whatever. And it's just like, you're forcing like heterosexuality on these literal babies.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought too. Like, oh, sorry, like, is it okay if I...
Yeah, you're fine.
No, I distinctly remember, I don't know how old I was, probably about 5 or 6, in a car ride thinking about like, my wedding day.
Yes, I do want to do an r/ are the straights okay? I really do. My 6-year-old has said to me when I'm gonna get married, oh my god, stop. I'm actually in a friend group where 3 people are bi, 3 are straight, and I'm aro ace, so I'm proud to say most of us aren't straight. Hell yeah.
And like what the man would be and how many kids we would have, just because growing up in the church that we grew up in, Mormonism, from like 4 or 5, they tell you get married, you find a man or a woman, you go get married in the temple, and you start having kids like immediately.
Like that.
If you don't have a kid within like a year and a half of getting married, like, they're like, are you okay? Is everything fine?
Yeah.
Like, is something wrong? Like, you need help? Like,
Yeah. When I was on my mission, I actually talked to a guy whose wife left because they had infertility issues, and she had been bugged so much at church about having kids that she just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can't have people asking me when.
See, it's also like, here's the thing. These things also hurt straight people. Like, what Ellis is saying literally hurt a straight woman, because she was told her whole life, I don't want to, like, get in, like, don't, anyway, she was told her whole life that she needed to do these specific things in order to, like, be a woman, and she wasn't able to have kids. Imagine being told your whole life you have to do this thing in order to perform your gender correctly, not being able to do that, and then people, like, asking you over, oh, when are you gonna have kids? Is everything okay? Like, it hurts cis straight people too. Like, it really does. It hurts everyone. It's not okay. I don't like this shit. Like,
And we're gonna have kids anymore. It was just so upsetting for her.
it's traumatic.
our accidental ally. Okay, I'm gonna have to do these. Videos. So, r/ are the straights okay, and r/ accidental ally.
Yeah,
I
Everyone wants to have
need.
kids.
Yeah, I'm 27 and I'm already too old for my culture.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not married. Like, Isaiah and I just recently started dating a year ago. Like, they're already asking, like, when's the wedding? When are the kids? And I'm just like, stop.
Whoa.
Enough.
Yeah.
I don't want that yet. Like, eventually, maybe, yeah. And stuff like that. But, like, it's not something you force your partner and everything.
Yeah.
And, like, that's something you have to discuss. But because of the culture that I grew up in, like, yeah. Like how Lynn was saying, at 5 years old, you get ingrained. Like, having that conversation. Like, at 5, I was learning how to cook, how to clean, how to be the perfect housewife. That's what the women are in, like, Mexican, like, Hispanic cultures. You're basically being trained to be the perfect housewife.
It's
Yeah.
not.
I
It's,
definitely
it's not. It's not okay. It's just not. It just reinforces such harmful gender roles and harmful stereotypes. And it doesn't allow for people to I'm doing this again. It doesn't allow for people to authentically be themselves, whether they are a heterosexual whether they are a heterosexual cis person or someone in the queer community. They're not being allowed to authentically be themselves because they're being forced into these certain roles and thinking they have to do these certain roles in order to be a good person. And it's absolutely just, I don't even know. What's the annoying thing? What's an annoying thing? Please just let people live their life. Exactly. Like, why is it so hard? We're literally just a type of somewhat evolved ape species that infested a planet and decided that we needed to work 40 hours and, like, have all of these social ridiculousnesses in our lives when we could have just been living off the land, big chillin', in a hammock, whatever. I'm pressed. Some cringy gotcha tuber said people who are pansexual are map such like, what? No. That's not true. Someone needs to educate you. That's not okay. Like, why? Why would you say that about... I don't get it. I don't get why people say that shit either. Like, hello? Also, the fact that fucking Maps literally, like, put it in their Twitter profile. I'm like, FBI, can you investigate all of these people? Please and thank you.
like relate to that, and especially because in Mormonism, at the age of 12, you get split off into young men and young women's. And like my very first, so we had like an extra day that we would go do like youth group or whatever called Mutual. And my very first lesson as like a 12-year-old was like the law of chastity, which is essentially like don't have sex, don't do anything until you're married to a man.
Don't even think about thinking
Don't
about
think
it.
about it. And I, like me, my little ace self, I was
You're
like,
making me think about it while you're talking about
I
it.
was like, I'm asexual. Like, little ace me was like, why are we even having this conversation? Do people actually think about this? Like, I don't, like, I could...
Yo! Ace me now! I'm still just like, do people actively think about this shit?
I honestly didn't even realize for a little bit that I was ace because I was taught that no one thought about sex. Even though we were taught about sex so much in Mormonism.
Yeah.
It's such like a weird... I don't even know how to describe it. They don't want you to have... It's a hyperfit. They don't want you to have sex, but as soon as you get married, they want you to start popping off like...
It's such a control tactic. Yo, okay, listen. I don't want to go all conspiracy theory. Oh, nope. Don't want to go all conspiracy theory on you. But the background of the lower left kind of looks like Harry Potter. It's actually, it's not Harry Potter. It's, what is it? I want to say it's Zelda. I think it's Zelda. Yeah, so you can look that up. Bless. What was I saying? I don't even remember what I was talking about. Wait, let me give a little...
like that, and I know that a lot of people who are in those, like, higher demand religions where you're...
Oh, it's a hyperfixation for them. Religious control over, like, That's one of their tactics, is like sexual control. It's one of like the things that like religion does. And it's so like it's a control tactic that people have bought into for thousands of years. Literally thousands of years. And that's crazy. Like, it's so nuts to me that like I don't even know. It's so weird. And like thinking back on all of the teachings that I learned as a kid and just how problematic all of it was all about controlling the people that are in your group. I don't want to say Mormonism it's like a cult. But you know, you know. Yeah, it's just like controlling what people eat, what people wear, especially with, you know, Mormon magic underwear. Fucking love is love cult, hell yeah. Um how involved they are in the group, making sure that they read the Book of Mormon or the Bible every day, who you can have sex with, when you can have sex. Don't think about sex until you get married, and then you can pop out babies. But you were told your whole life and shamed for wanting to have sex until you got married, so you're still gonna hold that shame. It's not okay. And I know it's not just Mormonism. Like I said, I think we go into like some evangelical. I think Ellis talks about how closely related Mormonism and the evangelical movement is, which like again I didn't even think about, and I was like, oh god. But it's true. Like it's absolutely insane, and there are like 15 million Mormons now, something like that, maybe less. I don't know. There are a lot of like kids leaving now, but it's just absolutely insane to me how much control churches, mega churches, Catholicism, like just I'll say at least Christianity. I don't know as much about other religions, unfortunately. I wasn't educated on them. Want just complete control over the members that they have. Just complete and utter control to, like, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me.
You're not able to do anything physical with your partner until you're married, have a lot of shame after being married, having sex.
Jordan and McKay's channel, they're ex-Mormons, and they talk about it. I think I might know who you're talking about, because I watched them actually when I was deconstructing. I would say send me the link, but I'll look them up.
Because they're like, I've been told my whole life I cannot do this. So when you're actually able to have it, you're like, oh my god, what is this? It's not what I expected. And a lot of the times it can hurt for the person with female anatomy, and like it's just not always a good thing. And the control of sexuality bothers me so much, specifically in Mormonism, because it doesn't allow you to actually express yourself, and it also makes for very short marriages and people only wanting to get married because they want to have sex with, like, a friend of mine literally went to BYU.
Yo, Mormons invented soaking, let's go.
And she would tell me about people who would go to Vegas, get like a weekend marriage just to have sex, and then come back up divorced because you're able to do those ceremonies and like divorce so quickly in Vegas, and because they just wanted to have sex and didn't want to be sinful or not worthy to go to the temple or anything. It's crazy.
I think, especially in like Mormonism and stuff, it also like the whole thing with Mormonism is like we're not the same as everybody else. We're not the same kind of church as everybody else. We don't have the same teachings. Our teachings are all unique and stuff like that. And it's really funny because like the church, when it was being founded and moving forward even to this day, absorbed so much of the conservative teachings of like evangelical churches and stuff like
100%.
that it's ridiculous. Like if they really wanted to be unique, they would be like having same-sex marriages in the temples and things like that. Like, oh god. The sorry, I was like trying to think while I was listening and it's not working. But it's so weird because like for me, the whole thing with sexuality in the church and like queerness in the church is like it started out as like a hey, everybody else hates queer people. This is back in like the 1800s where it just wasn't acceptable in like this area of America, and it was just the thing to do. Like you just didn't do it, and it evolved from there into like conversion therapy and mixed orientation marriages. Like the church really pushed the whole it's a disease of the mind, like addiction. Like you can overcome this if you pray hard enough, if you marry like for men, like if you marry a woman and you're faithful and you read your scriptures and you pray every day, you can overcome this. Like gender stuff wasn't even really a thing, I think, until
Just so y'all know, I'm getting off at 9. I said I was gonna be getting off at 9 at the beginning. So just so y'all know, we have 10 more minutes.
like the family proclamation came out and was like, oh well, man and woman are an eternal thing. It's like, well, y'all didn't even care like 5-10 years ago about gender and things like that. Did not, like, not even mentioned. And the thing that really sorry, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent, but for me the gendered aspect of it also was like that really still is like kind of triggering for me, honestly.
So I haven't actually seen the play Book of Mormon because we were told not to go see it.
Honestly, is modesty.
Yep.
Like the church's attitude around surrounding modesty, especially with women and like AFAB people. If you appear to be as a woman, like all the blame for any man's sexual thoughts or behaviors are on you.
Can I interrupt real quick? I distinctly remember how mom used to have us in like the back row.
Yeah.
So I distinctly remember one Sunday, like I was being rowdy, I was in a dress, like, and I was just playing. I was literally just playing on the pew. And I think my skirt was like hiked up or my legs were open. I was like 5 or 6 at the time. And my mom literally was like, Lynn, close your legs. You don't want the bishop to see up your skirt. And I'm like, even then I was like, what the fuck? But like, even like now as an adult, I'm like, my mom should have been like, hey honey, like, you know, let's be quiet or whatever, or taken me outside. But don't put the blame on me if a grown-ass man at the front of the church is looking up my skirt as like a 5 or 6-year-old. I'm like, thinking back on it, I was like, that's actually like so fun. And like, I hated that stuff. Like, I remember like as a kid, I hated having shirts on. That's one of the things that I like never understood when my brother had like friends over who my brother's like 8 years older, so they were teenagers when we were kids. My mom would be like, you have to have a shirt on, and I was like, well, why can't I just run around, like, why can't I just be why do I have to cover my body? Because at that time I was like, I look like a little boy, and I've seen little boys just run around the house in shorts, and like, they don't get told to put a shirt on. Like, I couldn't.
Yo, that messed me up so bad, and I could not. Yo, priests are weird. Honest to God. Yeah, no, that was one of the things that I never understood as a kid. Like I was 5 or 6. Like, and my mom was telling me to, like, put a shirt on when they were around. Which, like, okay, intellectually, I understand that now. However, it still makes me so mad. And it still, like, bothers me. Like, it still makes me like have that irrational like God, have you ever seen that one person that was told not to look up their religion and did because they were curious and found out they were in a cult? Yo, literally me. What channel was it that like kind of brought me? I think it was his name was Mr. Atheist at the time. I think it's Jon Snow now, but he's an ex-Mormon, and he went over, like, the first vision and, like, some Mormon history and stuff. And he was one of those channels that we were told, like, not to look up. And it was just, like, it's so weird when you're told, hey, don't look up your religion. It makes you curious, and you're like, well, why not? And then it is what it is, and then you're in a cult.
Comprehend why I was being told something different than, like, the boys my age. It pissed me off. Like, that was always something that, like, bothered me.
It
No,
still
I had a
bothers me.
similar experience like you as well, Lynn, with like family members, and like I would get the comments from like the moms and aunts. It's like their family. Why do I have to like? I view them as like fathers as well. Like, why are you telling me that they're gonna view me in a really disgusting way?
Yeah.
That like was just like traumatizing as well as a child. It's just like, so any person, family or not, is just gonna view me as an object.
Yeah.
Which is what I also hate about like cis conforming stuff. Like, it's just like you're just viewed as an object, which 100%. Is like gross.
Which again hurts so many people. And I think that's why they view the queer community in the way that they do, because they're viewing us living our life from their problematic lens that they need to genuinely unlearn. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop here because I'm getting sleepy. And y'all know I'm a baby when it comes to this kind of stuff. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed what we did watch. Like I said, I'm going to put I'm turning this off. I'm going to put a poll out either tonight, right after, like, I might not. It'll probably be in the morning, a poll about, about what times on the weekends work best for all of you, because I know that there are a lot of people who watch me who are in other countries and aren't able to come to these streams at night. So I'll put that out for all of you tomorrow morning at the latest. Hope you enjoyed hearing all of us talk about our experiences and just seeing the people that make me really happy. I hope you enjoyed them. I absolutely adore all of you, and as soon as I figure out the weekend schedule, I'll let y'all know. I probably won't be streaming this Saturday or Sunday, but I'll let you know, and I'll be here next week and let you know, starting next weekend, I'll be streaming at some point on the weekends. Yeah, and I hope y'all are enjoying, like, the kind of daily content from me. I've started working with someone who's helping me be consistent, and which is very, very nice. And because I just want to grow this channel, I really want to, like, genuinely get to, like, 100,000 subs by this time next year, which I think I can do. I know that seems like a very long way away, but, like, I genuinely believe in myself, and I believe in us, and I believe that we have a really good thing here, and a very sweet community, a very loving community, and accepting community, and we have a safe little space on the internet, and I just want to make that safe space bigger for other people who might need it. So yeah, if I might start doing, like, a whole, like, start sharing my videos more, and, like, trying to get y'all to share my videos more, just so, like, we all know how YouTube's algorithm is right now. But yeah, I hope you reach 2K this year. Thank you. 20K, not 2K, 20K this year. I should be reaching 20K by, like, the beginning of next month. Like, I would say by, like, the 8th, I should be reaching 20K. So I very much hope so. You're my favorite YouTuber. Bye. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all of you. Mwah. I will see you next Tuesday, same time. Bye.